Sang, how are software-defined vehicles affecting automakers' semiconductor sourcing?
Well, as we know, the shift towards SDV is fundamentally changing the architecture and design of a vehicle. Traditionally, automakers relied on buying from established vendors, so being legacy players and having the existing partnerships were a very important part of the sourcing. Today, SDVs requires massive compute power to handle OTAs and various types of ADAS and AI-driven features. So we're seeing a shift from a more of a distributed control unit to zonal-focused, centralized high-power, high-performance SoCs. Consequently, this makes the sourcing to expand from a low-margin commoditized components to more of a custom high-end silicon. This has integrated new suppliers to enter the market and forced automakers to evaluate chips based on software compatibility rather than just mechanical specs.
So how does this differ from traditional sourcing?
Well, I don't mean to generalize traditional sourcing, but from a high-level perspective, I think it was primarily defined by fragmented and a very broad supply chain network. There's a linear sourcing relationship in the network where it goes from a chip suppliers through tier ones and then eventually to OEMs. The focus was really on the cost optimization, lean manufacturing with just-in-time delivery, and a large part of the supply chain was often managed by tier ones rather than automakers themselves. With SDVs, I think the challenge isn't really about the hardware, it's more about the software. So we're seeing movements where a decoupled ecosystem with software must run across centralized system rather than in silos. Now, this is encouraging OEMs to form more of a direct strategic relationship with semiconductor giants that many of us are familiar with. So sourcing is no longer just about finding the cheapest stuff. It's about who has the best, most optimized technology for the vehicle system itself. So it's also about ensuring the hardware headroom, meaning the chip must have enough extra power to handle future software updates and security patches years after the car leaves the lot.
So is this an automotive-specific phenomenon?
I think it's certainly part of a large movement. While the automotive is currently the most high-profile example, it's not really an isolated situation. In the past, if you look at smartphone sectors, global players like Apple and Samsung, and many other smartphone manufacturers have been designing their own chip and integrating the semiconductor sourcing as a part of their own business. At the same time, they work closely with companies like Qualcomm and NVIDIA to form other type of relationship and alliances. And today we're seeing a semiconductor sourcing strategies really migrating into data center AI, physical AI, humanoid robots, and industrial automation, which all have their own unique sourcing strategies, but also really converging and learning from each other.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your insight, Sang. If you want to find out more about Omdia's automotive coverage, semiconductor coverage, and general technology coverage, please reach out to find out more.